What is up, comic book fans? It is another edition of Poll This for the week of August 1st, 2018. I'm your host, Connor Christensen, here to talk about the 5 books that you need to buy this week. If you notice, I'm out of my parents' garage because it was way too fucking hot. I'm now in their living room where there is AC, and check out this lighting. The lighting in here is just absolutely lovely. So, without further ado, with better lighting than last week, let's look at this week's books. Coming in at number 5 this week, we've got The Wilds number 4, written by Vita Ayala and drawn by Emily Pearson. Are you or a loved one suffering from zombie fatigue? Do zombie stories make you feel tired, sluggish, and just genuinely uninterested? Well, luckily for you, it doesn't have to be this way. 5 out of 5 doctors recommend The Wilds for treating such zombie uninterest. This is a truly unique take on the zombie genre, replacing the grotesque, nasty, bloody zombies with more beautiful, flower-riddled zombies. I know I've talked about this book before, but the visuals are truly what set this apart. The zombies, if you even want to call them that, because that's not really what they are really, really pretty to look at, which is completely unsettling. It just makes this story even more unique. On top of the awesome art style, the mystery surrounding how the world went to shit and how this virus took over the entire world is genuinely intriguing, and it's also driven by a totally awesome human drama that focuses more on the survivors than it does the shit around them. It's definitely a human story that has monsters in it. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's a great time, especially if you're kind of sick of zombie books. On top of the awesome art style, the mystery surrounding this book and how the virus took over the world and how everything went to shit really makes it stand out as well. And not only that, it's a totally human-driven story about a human drama. It focuses more on the survivors themselves than it does about the zombies around them. Once again, I don't even know if you call them zombies. They're kind of like, I don't know, flower people? Does that sound right? Yeah?
Sounds about right.
Okay, that's not bad. We'll call them flower people. And on top of the individual stories in each issue, you also get these bonus stories called Best Runs that allow a different artist to step in and add their interpretation of the world that Pearson and Ayala have created. And they're awesome just breaks in the action that build up the world and give you an idea of what everyone else is doing in the world. It's just an awesome series, and you gotta check it out. Coming in at number 4 this week, we've got The Adventures of the Super Sons, number 1, written by Peter J. Tomasi and drawn by Art Thibert and Carlo Barberi. The original Super Sons was an unfortunate casualty of Brian Michael Bendis' hiring at DC. But you know who really took the brunt of Brian Michael Bendis' hiring? Peter J. Tomasi. I mean, he lost his title as Superman writer, and he lost his Super Sons series. I know Bendis going to DC is great and all, but is Peter okay? Now, there was some serious uproar when Super Sons got canceled, and really, it's for good reason. It was a great series. It was a lot of fun, and Damian Wayne and John Kent have such opposite personalities that watching them have this budding friendship was just a great time and super enjoyable. So when it got canceled, we were all sad. Luckily, it's coming back with this 12-issue miniseries debuting this week. Unfortunately, this isn't a direct continuation of the Super Sons series because John Kent is busy gallivanting across the multiverse or galaxies with his mom and Jor-El or some weird shit. I don't know. I didn't finish Man of Steel. No hate to Brian Michael Bendis. I got sidetracked and distracted. But this is going to be an awesome flashback series that shows us some untold adventures between Damian and John and should be really enjoyable and give us some fresh new content to look at between the two of them. Expect some budding, prepubescent bromance, some hilarious immature quips about Fortnite and flossing or whatever the fuck the kids are into these days, and all the awesome kick-ass fighting in an intergalactic turf war against a mysterious group of badasses called the Gang as comic book's favorite pair of young best friends returns. I can't wait to read it. Peter J. Tomasi, I hope you're doing good, bud. We all feel for you losing all your series, so we're excited to see Super Sons come back. At number 3 this week, we've got Justice League number 5, written by James Tynion IV and drawn by Doug Mankey and Jamie Mendoza. Now, this isn't technically a new series because it is Justice League number 5, but it does have an all-new creative team behind it and follows a completely new set of characters from Justice Leagues 1, 2, 3, and 4. The deal is, every 5 issues, the Justice League is going to switch perspectives from the titular heroes over to the newly formed Legion of Doom led by Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor has given up pretending to be a guy, pretending to be a good guy for the sake of beating Superman, and he's just all out bad again. And he's got this weird tagline that is follow your doom or something really cryptic or scary or weird and shit. Lex Luthor is setting out to be the new big bad in the DC universe, and he's assembled a pretty evil team To make sure that happens, he's got Sinestro, Gorilla Grodd, Cheetah, Black Manta, and even the Joker on his side. Now, making every 5 issues about the Legion of Doom may sound like an unnecessary gimmick, but honestly, I'm really stoked and I think this is a great move. Tynion himself was part of the Metal/No Justice Brain Trust and writes Justice League Dark, so you know he knows exactly where these characters have been, where they're supposed to be now, and where they're going. I mean, he helped create the roadmap for where the DC Universe is going moving forward. Plus, this highlights the villains, and with so many comic book properties, whether it's a TV show or a comic, the problem is that their villains aren't any good. So if you spend 1 issue every 5 issues focusing on the villains and focusing on what makes them tick and what their motivations are, you're gonna have a better story overall. So I think this is a great move, and it's got a great creative team behind it. It's gonna be a kick-ass issue. You should definitely pick it up, especially if you're a fan of the DC Universe. And at number 2 this week, we've got Infinity Wars #1, written by Jerry Dugan with art by Mike Deodato. You know, Marvel thinks they've got a kick-ass book on their hands when they make like 1,000 variant covers for it, which is exactly what's happening with Infinity Wars #1. I was on Midtown earlier today, and there was just, I mean, honestly, probably like 32 variant covers for this. Luckily for all of us readers, the story contained behind these variant covers is actually pretty kick-ass and is shaping up to be a real good event. Now, Marvel pulled a fast one on us this year because they told us, hey guys, guess what? We're not going to do any events in 2018. And then they did Infinity Countdown. You might have thought that was the only event, but you'd be wrong and stupid if you thought that, because it's a countdown. It was counting down to the real event, which is happening now with Infinity Wars. So that's not just one event in 2018, the year of no events. That's 2 events in 2018, the year of no events. Is this possibly a power move from Disney to capitalize on the success of Avengers Infinity War with a comic with very similar naming recognition? I don't know, maybe. But I can tell you this, it's got Jerry Dugan and Mike Deodato on it, so it's definitely gonna be more than just a gimmicky, money-grabbing, shitty event. When a series is written by Jerry Dugan and drawn by Mike Deodato, I'm gonna get interested and I'm gonna pick it up. Deodato's an excellent artist, and Jerry Dugan is on fire right now. His Guardians run was great. His Deadpool run is one of the best Deadpool stories of all time, and Infinity Countdown was awesome. And then you got his Image creator-owned series, Analog, which also kicks ass. So Dugan's writing it. I'm excited. All right, all joking aside, I know I like to make fun of Marvel for these events and stuff, but Infinity Countdown was actually really, really good and got me super pumped for Infinity War, so I can't wait to see where this series goes. Plus, if you read Infinity Wars Prime last week, their new villain Requiem is a fucking badass. And I don't want to spoil anything, but somebody kind of sort of gets their head chopped off, and it's a really big deal. So if she's doing that in just the Prime issue, imagine the shit that Requiem's going to pull off in the main series. It kicks off this week. Don't be a fool. Don't be a jabroni. Don't be a jackass. Pick it up. And our #1 choice of the week is 7 to Eternity #10, written by Rick Remender and drawn by Jerome Opeña. I believe this is our first Image book to make #1 on our list, so congrats to Image. We're very proud of you. Few comic books have ever managed to captivate me the way that 7 to Eternity does, and the wait for new issues is finally over, with #10 hitting newsstands this week. Remender and Opeña are longtime collaborators who worked on books like Fear Agent and Uncanny X-Force, which is honestly one of the best runs of Uncanny X-Force of all time. It's absolutely incredible. If you haven't read 7 to Eternity, read that and then go read Uncanny X-Force, because it's killer. The story is unique in every sense of the word. It blends sci-fi and fantasy and family drama elements into this really quirky, weird, almost psychedelic world where you're just thrust into a world of chaos where the systems are failing and nothing is working the way it's supposed to, yet everything is still simultaneously beautiful. I mean, I really can't adequately describe why this comic works, but it does, and it's so fantastic. If you haven't read the first 2 volumes of this series, I really recommend, nay, I implore that you go to your local Barnes & Noble, your local comic book shop, or even to Amazon.com, and you buy these first 2 volumes, you read the first 2 volumes, and you pick up #10, because you will absolutely love it. It'll blow you away with just, it's just so unique and vibrant and brilliant, and it's so fucking weird, but in the best way possible. I absolutely love this series. We've been waiting a very, very long time, or at least it feels like a very, very long time. It might have only been like 3 months, but it feels like it's been forever since we last saw 7 to Eternity on stands, and now it's back, and I'm so happy. It's the Connor guarantee of the week. Anyway, make sure to pick up 7 to Attorney number 10 this week. It's gonna kick ass, just like everything Remender and Opinion do. And that about wraps things up for Poll This for the week of August 1st, 2018. Special thanks to my little sister Lauren and my little brother Carson for helping me out this week and setting up the lighting so I look all lit, as the kids say. Don't forget to subscribe, share, rate, review, do all those things, and come back next week to see what we got in store for you. Bye.
Never say that.